One of the most confusing biomes in the game is the temperate biome. Yes, I know, it's very strange. It's very much my favorite biome, I gotta admit to that, and I assume it's one of your favorites as well. I mean, we've all built zoos in there. You see, the theme and pieces of the temperate biome are very versatile and easy to use, and that's all for good reason. But one of the most confusing things about that biome are the animal choices. So many of the animal choices in the temperate biome seem to be a little bit odd. Some in particular that come up for me are California sea lions, giant Galapagos tortoise, and the Malayan tapirs of all things, and that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they reside in temperate forests, as, you know, like New England forests would really demonstrate. It's more about like the regional temperature, I guess I would say. It's more of a catch-all kind of term of basically a bunch of throwaway things, and I believe that that's also the case for like the taiga in regards to like alpine and montanes and stuff like that. But today we're going to talk about temperate rainforest packs and my general wish list idea for it. So this wish list in particular is proving to be a little bit more of a challenge than the other ones. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, trying to group together like a bunch of animals in such a broad category, but it's one that I felt up for the challenge for. And as always, please, you at home, let me know right down below what your picks for this pack would be. I love seeing them. You guys always come up with some amazing animal choices that I always forget to even bring up in these lists. You guys are very imaginative, amazing, and definitely throw those out. Who knows, I might even make some into mods. Who even knows? But without further ado, let's get started on the animal pack for this little temperate pack. Now, first of all, I believe that we are in a little bit of need of a clone, a little bit need of a wolf species. I know Frontier loves making them. The red wolf. Now, the red wolf is a little bit of a conservation story in itself. It's very amazing. I don't know, it's just really cool to see how such a decimated population was able to recover so quickly thanks to zoos all around the world, as well as the United States in particular. So these guys would be really amazing. Plus, their coats are beautiful. They're like, I don't know, if you look at wolves, you often see a lot of gray, a lot of bluish, a lot of white, but very seldom do you see anything that's like beautiful, like a burnt umber, kind of like a red. So the red wolf would be an amazing canine to have in there. Moving on from there, we're going to take a little trip over to Asia with a tanuki, otherwise known as a Japanese raccoon dog. These guys are really cool. You guys may know them from those little Japanese statues with the big ol' clackers, but still, they're really amazing animals. Mythological and folklore aside, they're just very beautiful animals. They're kind of like raccoons, but more so on the canine side. I just think they're pretty neat, and these guys would be amazing to have. Now, moving on from there, we're going to go over to Africa for the only cervid in Africa. I think it's cervid. If I'm wrong, I know someone will tell me in the comments down below, but the Barbary stag. It is the only deer found locally in Africa. The entire continent. It's found more so in like northern Africa and stuff like that, in temperate forests and more so temperate climates. I believe that'd be a really cool pick. Even more so than like the red deer. I'm sorry, Europeans, but this is really cool because it's the only deer in Africa. That's really cool. But of course, moving on from there, Europeans, I got you. Get ready for these next three picks. The red fox. Of course, these guys are beautiful. I love them. They're very diverse all across the globe. There's a lot of different species and subspecies of red fox, and either way, whatever red fox that Frontier would decide to make, I would be extremely happy with, just because they're beautiful, bright animals, and I feel like that is one of the biggest emphases that we should give to a zoo game. Just big, beautiful, bright animals. Enough with the grayscale, but of course I have a grayscale animal coming up. Of course. European hare. I'm a big flip-flop, guys. So the European hare would be the only langomorph in the game. And I believe that adding a langomorph would be absolutely amazing to have in Planet Zoo. I know a lot of people may say, but Leaf, rabbits are so small, hares are so small. To that I say, look at the friggin' prairie dog. Look at the meerkat. I could squeeze a meerkat in my hands and eyes would pop out. That's a little gruesome. I'm sorry about that, guys. But still, nonetheless, the European hare is a very amazing animal. And it's probably like, you know, you're pretty much common zoo bunny, rabbit, langmorph. I would just love to see these guys. In addition to that, maybe the giant Flemish rabbit. I know it's a more of a domestic species, but they're really cute. They're really fluffy. I just think that'd be neat, but I believe Planet Zoo would more so go along with a European hare. Of course, this is a little bit more of a Persian inclusion, the fallow deer. Now, the fallow deer is very common in walkthrough parts of zoos and forests all across the globe. I know in Ireland they have these guys. I know all across the globe they actually have these guys. In Japan, they're pretty popular, but the fallow deer is one of my favorite deer species ever. They have these beautiful, beautiful velvety antlers. They have these beautiful splotch on the sides. Very spotted, very, I don't know, just very beautiful creatures. I love them so much. And also, in addition to that, the sloth bear. This one was a little bit more of a weird choice, but you know what? I love bears, and Frontier can really do a sloth bear justice. I know a lot of people may like my sloth bear mod, but I don't think it's the best. I certainly can't do any better than that, but I believe Frontier has the resources available to actually make that happen and make it look amazing. So, of course, that is it for all the habitat animals for the animal pack. Of course, I have an exhibit animal, the tuatara from New Zealand. Now, this is a very, very early reptile. In fact, it's one of the earliest lizards ever, established on Earth and still lives to this day. I think it's even older than the crocodilians. So these guys are extremely cool. They're very unique in that regard. And plus, it's New Zealand representation. We don't really have too many kiwi animals in here. And of course, I would love a kiwi, but you know what? Screw it. Yeah, we'll throw the kiwi on the alternative list. In addition to kiwis, I also have wisents, which are also known as European bison. They're beautiful, but of course they are very much similar to the buffalo that we have over in America, so I'm not really too keen on those. The American black bear, of course, as an alternative to the sloth bear. He's very beautiful, but it's just another clone, and I believe the sloth bear has a little bit more of a unique stance with its beautiful shaggy fur. I love the American black bear. It's probably one of my favorite bears, but I think the sloth bear deserves that slot a little bit more. The common genet. This is a bit of a very interesting animal. It is a carnivore found in Africa, and they're just very cool. They're just, I don't know, I believe genets and tyras, stuff like that, fusas, all these kinds of long carnivores, very kind of in the middle of canines and cats. Just very cool animals, and I feel like more representation on them would always be amazing. And the striped skunk, just a very basic animal. You don't really think of skunks when you think of zoos, but they're really beautiful nonetheless. And I think their patterns and their textures would be absolutely amazing to see in the game. But of course, they weren't really cool enough to get a main slot over here. But of course, moving on from there, we also have the scenery pack that I've kind of designed. Of course, this goes in line with the grasslands and the taiga pack. Nothing too crazy. Only scenery would be more like new rocks, foliage, etc., etc. Much more of a naturalistic kind of theming. Maybe even ferns, ground cover, dead trees, more grasses, maybe even flexi-colored grass, so we could really match it to whatever biome that we're in. I feel like that'd be a really cool addition to have. As well as more gardening and plants. Hell, even topiaries might be kind of cool. Just having a bigger emphasis on gardening would be really cool. And of course, new features along with all the plants. I would love to see guests actually appreciate foliage more, and maybe even some botanical garden kind of integration. I'm not really sure. Maybe at least give us little signs to reference to plants in the game, so we could boost education through there. I feel like plant education and foliage education is a really, really untapped potential, I guess, that we can have in the game, and just having that in the game would be amazing to have. I know Mr. Mike Sheets would absolutely love that, so that'd be really cool to see. But of course, moving on from that, we also have smaller paths, more so fitted for woodland trails. Being able to shrink the path down to 2 meters, maybe even 3 meters, I'd give in for. That'd be really great to have, especially for getting those nice woodland trails working, which I feel like would be a huge emphasis for a temperate pack. And also, moving on from that, billboard flags. We had them in Planet Coaster. They're very cool that you can just plop your texture right on an animated flag, and it would just wave in the wind and look beautiful. I believe that's absolutely necessary to have more so in Planet Zoo than anything, because we have stuff like, we have the country flags, we have the state flags, we have AZA, ZAA flags, we have all these association flags that would be wonderfully fit over here. Hell, even your own zoo could have its own flag. That'd be really great to have. So Frontier, please, please, I know, it's in your files. It is in Frontier HQ right now. Please just port it over. I would love you guys for it. But of course, without further ado, we're going to get into the animals for the scenery pack. I'm saving that for last because I want to. And of course, we have the Japanese raccoon dog. Nothing in here is going to be new. Japanese raccoon dog, fallow deer, sloth bear, European hare, and the exhibit would be the tuatara. I feel like these animals represent a lot of diverse populations, and I feel like that'd be really good to have as a temperate pack. I feel like a lot of people would love that. And you know what? That's my little spiel. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really fun to go through all this with you guys, especially for such a really, really broad subject as the temperate biome. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Again, please let me know what you think the temperate pack might be down below. Let me hear your wildest assumptions. Let me hear your wildest answers. I really want to hear it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really do hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'm gonna do another one of these next Saturday. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Take care. Bye-bye now, guys.